Hello, crafty friends. Welcome. I have a new set of products on my desk from Spellbinders, and it's called Jack of All Trades. There are 6 products in this release, and I have 3 of them, with which I'm going to create a really fun card in this video. Now, this set is my favorite of all of them, and it is called Reversible Royal Court. There are 31 dies. They make up the cutest playing card images. So that's going to be the star of the show today. I also have this smaller set, and it's called Pip and Rink. There are 5 dies to it. If you want to make some very realistic looking playing cards, then this is a great die for that. And then I have some really fun sentiments called Shuffling Sentiments. And you also get a banner die to go with these. They are playing card related sentiments, and the one I'm going to be using says, "We're 2 of a kind." So I have a lot of die cutting to do. I'm going to do it all off camera because this did take a while, but it was super fun to put these together. I'm going to create a Queen of Hearts, and I cut out it's like paper dolls. I cut out the doll's head with some Dune craft cardstock. It has a pretty light brownish tone to it, and I'm going to add some shading to this doll using some light brown. As you can see, I added ink to my little brush and then wiped most of it off because this is such a small image. I don't want it to be overwhelmed with the ink. I'm shading her neck and the sides of her face. Then I'm going to do the same thing with some pink ink. I'll saturate my brush and then wipe most of it off and give her some pink cheeks. I'm just going very carefully to the sides of her face, and I'll give you a close-up look at this in just a minute. It looks really pretty. Little details like this sure can make up a beautiful card, but here she is. Now let's attach her brown hair. And all of these pieces are etched as well, so I know exactly where to put her hair. And then I just put a little bit of glue on her forehead and pinch that together. Now I'm just going to leave her eyes brown, but you can, of course, put whatever color of eyes you want on here. And now for her lips, I cut this out with Poppy Red. They're small dies, but they're so detailed and fun. Her dress is going to be Periwinkle Purple. And I'm adding some brushed silver around the bodice. And then I can glue the dress on her. And again, the doll is etched so you know where to put her dress. I cut out a lot of pieces with lots of different colors. So I'm going to keep all of those pieces and I'll have them for my stash so I can create more of these cute playing card images. And now for her hand, I did add a little bit of shading to her arm and her hand as well. This little piece is the rose that I'm going to have her hold. And it comes with 3 pieces: the stem, the rose, and some petals to go on top. So many fun details to this set. And now for her necklace, and I cut this out with some brushed gold cardstock. Her crown I also cut out with brushed gold. It looks really pretty with the really bright mirrored gold cardstock, but my favorite is the brushed gold and the brushed silver. They're a little more subdued, but when they catch the light, they're really pretty. Now for one of her puffed sleeves. And now I'll glue on her arm. And I don't want to put any glue behind her hand because I need to be able to tuck that rose behind her hand, which I will do next. I added a dot of glue to the stem. Let's twist that in place. Now for the buckle on her dress. The next sleeve that goes to this doll is a little bit different, and it has 3 pieces to it. I cut out this sleeve with some navy blue cardstock. It's called Cosmic Sky. And then I'll add the periwinkle and the brushed silver details to it. Sorry, my head kind of gets in the way there. With the dark paper, it's kind of hard to see where the etching is, so I know where to put the die cuts. Now I'll glue this onto her shoulder. I don't know if that's like a cape or a sleeve, but it sure looks pretty. I'm also going to put together one of the kings or the jokers, and he is holding a shield, which is another layering piece. Comes with 3 pieces. I won't be using this piece for my card, but I just wanted to show you how cute he is with his little mustache. And you have lots of options with this set. You can put a beard on him as well. And he is holding a glass of wine. So here's a close-up at the 2 pieces. Once you have everything cut out, they go pretty fast. So I made another queen with some pink, some fruit punch pink cardstock. I have a piece of heavyweight vellum, and I'm going to use some pattern paper behind the vellum. This pad is an older pad from Spellbinders. I've had it in my stash for a while. It's called Life is a Party, and I'm just choosing a pretty pattern to go behind the vellum. If this pattern paper is still available, I'll have it linked in the description box. But I really like this blue. I tried this floral piece, but it was just too busy. So the blue paper it is. I can pull this out of the 6x6 inch paper pad. And then I'm going to pull out my Spellbinders paper trimmer and cut this down so that it is 5.5 by 4.25. I'll have all of these new products listed in the description box below if you want to check them out, as well as all of the tools that I'm using to put this card together. Next, I'm going to pull out my purple Scout and cut out some of the dies from the Pip and Rank set. I need 2 of the cues. And I'm cutting this out with more of the poppy red to match the rose and their lips. And then I'm going to cut out 2 of the small hearts. I want to put a border behind the queens, so I'm going to cut out a really thin one using some rectangle dies from Spellbinders and some onyx black cardstock. This is what it looks like when it's all done. To make the vellum look more like a playing card, I'm going to round the edges, or the corners, I'm sorry. I'm going to round the corners, and then I'll use some tape runner behind the vellum. I'm trying to put it where it's going to be hidden by the queens. And then I can attach this to the blue pattern paper. I'll glue the frame down flat with some liquid glue. And next I can start working on the sentiments. Now the sentiments are BetterPress. You can glimmer them as well, but I'm going to pull out my very dirty BetterPress system, as you can see there. And I'm using some cotton cardstock called Bisque. I'll put little rolls of tape at 2 of the corners and then pick up the paper with the door of my BetterPress system. Then I'm just going to use black ink to stamp out the sentiments. I wasn't sure exactly which sentiment I wanted to use at this time, so I chose 3 different sentiments, and I made sure to ink them up very heavily because you only really get one shot at this. And they stamped out or pressed out beautifully. I wanted to show you my cute tin containers, which I use to house all of my BetterPress inks. They're the perfect size for these little tin boxes. And I keep the like colors together. Let's use the coordinating banner die to cut out these sentiments, as well as the ribbon edges or the fishtail edges. and they come in 3 pieces. At first, I couldn't figure out how these worked, but you're going to bend the ribbon piece. This is what it's going to look like when it's all done. Let me put one of these together for you. So the ribbon edges have a piece that you bend, and then you're going to put glue on the back of this. I'm just going to use liquid glue. And then you line up the edge of your sentiment with the piece that you just folded back. And then you'll do the same to the other side. You'll bend the ribbon piece, add glue, and then this piece is going to go a little bit higher than the first piece. And I'll just wait for that to dry. And then you have this really cute dimensional banner. This is such a fun and clever collection. I've never seen dies with this theme before. I'm going to put some very thin foam squares behind the queens. I have another set of foam squares that's a little bit thicker. As you can see here, I'll link both of these, but the thin ones are really nice when you want just a touch of dimension. I purchased these accidentally on Spellbinders' website. I usually get the thicker ones, but I'm glad I have these thinner ones. They were really nice to use on this project. Do the same for the second queen. And then the Q and the heart, I'm going to glue down flat with some liquid glue. With die sets like this, it's really helpful to have tweezers and a pickup stick. And now for the heart. And then, of course, I'll do the same for the opposite corner. I decided to put these foam squares on fishtail edges of my banner. I'll just place that right in between the queens. The middle of the banner was kind of laying flat, and I didn't like that, so I'm using 2 regular foam squares and putting them together, and I'm just going to pop this in the middle of the banner just to make it stand up a little bit more. I'll attach my panel to a top folding card base. This die set seems a little bit intimidating, but once you play with it, you catch on really quick how the pieces work. And here is a close-up look at the finished card. Isn't that brushed silver and brushed gold cardstock gorgeous on this? But what a fun card to receive in the mail. I hope you enjoyed this project today. And again, this is from the Jack of All Trades collection from Spellbinders. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful crafty day. Bye.